Okay, all right, Mike's picking it up. All right. Oh, hello. Good morning to those listening live and or later on when it's up later. To another episode of Cosplay Bites, the show about cosplay, conventions, and all the extra nerdy bits and bytes. This episode, I am joined by my wonderful friend Emris Coscept for our annual, semi-annual, yearly catch-up chat.
Yeah, I think this is our third go round, I think.
Possibly, yeah. So
Heck yeah, it's tradition.
traditions. Before we get too into it, I actually just have a couple of fun little tidbits or announcements that you guys can check out if you want. I got a somewhat random email about this website called FeedSpot that apparently Cosplay Bites is in their like top 20 cosplay podcast list. So that's kind of cool. So there's that, and there is a PAX East episode planned. I'm sure I'll probably touch on it a little bit in this episode, but it is coming with Mink of the Satyr. I'm going to assume this week at some point. And if you haven't already, you can actually check out a small little developer interview I did with the folks over at Good Story Guild, all about their very first game that they debuted there called Cat Secretary. It was very fun, very wholesome conversation I had with the developers there, and you should definitely check it out. It's not that long. And I'm just thinking quickly over in my head. Nothing else at the moment. So, with that being said, how have you been?
I've been good. Definitely this feels like my first year back, like post pandemic, I guess. I hit like a really bad spot of burnout after Fanime, like 2019. And then didn't do anything with cosplay for a really long time. Got super into playing 14. And luckily that was still going strong on account of gestures at 2020 forward.
Yeah.
But this year feels like the first year that I'm like actually like back into the swing of things and have like not just like the desire to do stuff, but the actual energy to do stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been good so far. I've been really happy. You know how like you have one of those like long running hobbies that like takes you through like a couple chapters of your life and you're just like you hit a burnout spot and you're just like, do I just not like doing this anymore?
That was yeah, no, I get it. I think that was like maybe a few years ago, like either during the pandemic or shortly afterward, where it's like, do I still want a podcast? Because no one's available. No one wants to be on my show, and it made me feel very horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's nice to have the perspective now, just like you're gonna have ups and downs with everything, like hobbies, workout routines, like like job, basically everything. And sometimes your job just fucking sucks and like you deserve better, but like stuff that is like fun for you and good for you and stuff like that, like even those things will have like ups and downs and you'll have to like evaluate, and sometimes the answer is no and you're just like, well, I've got other things I can be doing, and so that's fine. But it was honestly a relief to like take a look at this year and be like, no, I still love this is still definitely me.
Good. Yeah.
So yeah, been good. How about you? You just got back from Japan.
Japan, PAX East. It almost felt like part of that statement that you said was directly targeted at me because you're probably aware because I mean I'm doing my best to stay positive because I got laid off a couple months ago and I'm just doing what I can, small cuts to keep things down so that I can afford it. off of
Mm-hmm.
state unemployment.
Yeah, which is better than nothing, but it's not great.
No, it's not.
Both my partner and I were laid off for 4 months each last year, and it sucked.
God. Well,
Luckily not at the same time, but like, oh boy.
yeah, it was. I think. Wait, is it February, March? Okay, so it's been over 3 months. Okay, so I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
No, that gives me some hope because people were saying they were. I've had people say they've been laid off for 4 to 6 months before they found something. So that kind of gives me hope that maybe something's gonna come soon. Because like, I've been applying across multiple fields, across 3 different states.
Yep.
And that's been like, last I checked, and now I'm starting to like delete things where dating all the way back to February, where it's now been 4 months or 1, 2, 3 months. Oh my god! And so it's like 3 months have gone by. I haven't heard anything, so it's like, yeah, probably not being moved forward. So
Yeah, it's probably a no.
Yeah, no. So it's yeah, PAX East was like the last. I told myself the last multi-day trip I can afford before I don't do anything until things get better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then you went to SakuraCon.
I did.
So, all right. So where do you want to start? You want to start at SakuraCon? Do you want to learn more about Japan?
Sure. Let's do SakuraCon first, because that has like a start and end, and then I definitely want to get into Japan because I'm so excited to like hear more and like gush about stuff.
Have
you do that for hours?
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. Have you ever been to Japan?
I've been twice, actually.
Really? Okay. So maybe
and
we'll
we have
some...
another. We have a desire to go again, so I absolutely want to talk about it.
Great. Okay. So. Wait, hold please. Coffee, need it. There we go. All right. SakuraCon. What is it? Where is it? When?
I can answer all of those things. What is it? It is the Pacific Northwest's largest anime convention. It's held in the Washington State Convention Center in Seattle. So that's what and where. And when. It is always Easter weekend. So if you attend SakuraCon, you are automatically a heathen. Congratulations.
Hooray.
It's very cute though. You'll get a lot of people. To be completely honest, I always forget to do something special for Easter Sunday, but you'll always get like a good handful of cosplayers like on the Sunday of con who'll have like Easter baskets with eggs and stuff, and it's very, very cute, and I always appreciate them so much. So it is kind of, I don't really want to call it my home con, even though it was the first anime con I went to, simply because like it's always important to me. I always want to go. A little bit more on that later. But it definitely feels like an annual friend event.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's important to me. Which I guess we can get into the. It's important to me, and for that reason, it's very frustrating because this year wasn't the best with some of the leadership. I had a couple of friends who had really bad experiences.
Oh no.
Kind of based solely on how it was run. And I do think that they could be doing better about some stuff, and I can share details or I cannot on my thoughts on that. But it was a good experience for me, thankfully. And I do think that there are a couple of things that they do get really right. Specifically Artist Alley.
Yeah.
It is huge. It's huge. They take up an entire like display floor essentially. Like the size of like a normal convention's like dealers hall or whatever. That's how big Artist Alley is.
Whoa.
The
Okay, yeah.
the aisles are luxuriously wide. And there's a lot of people in there. It's probably the biggest Artist Alley I go to.
Yeah.
To the point where I think I was talking to one of my friends and he did kind of have a point. There was so many artists that getting through Artist Alley does feel like I do think I spent probably 40% of my time at the convention just in Artist Alley because there were so many vendors.
Okay.
And I don't want to say that like maybe they could like cut it down a little bit because everyone there was good. Like and they had like a wide variety of types of like artists being displayed. There's one booth that I took a card from. I can't find it at the moment. But they were selling like hand crocheted flowers and it was very cute because it was set up like a Saturday market, like a farmer's market kind of things. They had all the flowers in like buckets and stuff. It was probably like one of the most uniquely displayed Artist Alley booths I've ever seen. It was awesome, honestly. I wish I could give them a shout out. So like the quality of the artists that were included was fantastic. So I don't want to say like, oh, they should just like reduce the number of opportunities or something like that. That sounds like a terrible idea, but I don't know how they would make it so that the entire experience was a little bit less overwhelming. The only thing I could think is like maybe put it in the building where a lot of the panels are happening so it wasn't as much of a trek to get between the two.
Sure.
For those who aren't aware, which is probably a lot of people, the Washington State Convention Center is actually two buildings that are a block apart, essentially. There's the old building called the Arch, which has like the big sky bridge with like the glass walls that is like pretty iconic for a lot of like, you'll see a lot of like SakuraCon hall shoot, I guess like hallway photos taken there.
Okay, yep.
And that's historically it was only in the one building. Recently the convention opened a new second building. And the new building is nice. It's not as iconic because it's new.
Right.
But it is nice. And they have a lot of the panels and like registration was in the new building this year. And then the dealer's hall is always in the new building as well. So like Artist Alley and like the concerts that happen, like the big stage things are in the old building still.
Okay.
And at least I think the concerts were. It was a very busy weekend.
Sure.
And part of my confusion is the fact that the convention booklet or like the guide and the map and stuff like that were all hosted on a third-party app. The app was not easily sortable, so trying to find where things were taking place and how things were laid out was pretty dreadful. I wish they would just host like their own, like even if it was just like a searchable PDF again, like it has been in past years. I think putting it on the Evently app didn't work good.
Okay.
Don't do that again, please.
Okay.
There was so like it was stuff like that. Registration took 5 hours because they were understaffed. It was just there were a lot of excuses flying around. TLDR, they were just straight up understaffed. Which was not great. Like it is frustrating for a convention that is like staffed by volunteers to have like a good force, like a good chunk of your volunteer force not show up because obviously you plan for like the number of people. But also I do know that the organizers of the convention didn't exactly do a stellar job this year. and were not taking feedback in a way that I would consider mature or helpful a lot of the time.
Oh no.
The communication wasn't terribly clear. So that's why I was just like, they do some stuff right. And like, Artist Alley at SakuraCon has always been good, in my opinion. Never having vended there, that could be a completely different experience. But as like an attendee, I've always thought that Artist Alley was like one of the best parts about SakuraCon. They always seem to have like a lot, and they always seem to give people the space to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a lot of controversy about the leadership this year. And I do think that it's earned. Having stood in line for 5 hours to get my badge and gotten a sunburn because we weren't prepared to be standing outside for 5 hours to get my badge. And like, I feel bad for the people who had like panels during that time, because people couldn't attend their panels because we were all stuck in registration on the first day of con.
Geez. Yeah, that's right.
So I'm just like, well, I sure hope they don't take that personally. I'm sure your panel was awesome. Wish I could have had the opportunity to at least take a look at it and be like, nah, not for me, instead of just being like, well, I hope I don't want to see anything.
Right? Yeah.
So it was a bit of a bummer. But overall, and like a lot was made about like the Cheesecake Factory fire that basically smoked out Artist Alley. I do hope that a lot of people were able to like make back the proceeds. I spent like $500 in there, so hopefully I helped a little bit.
You hope.
Oh my god, I spent so much money at Artist Alley at SakuraCon this year.
Okay.
Like I said, it was all really good, so I have a problem.
We'll get into that. Both makes me feel better about what I spent at PAX East, but then also it's like smidgen compared to what the fuck I spent at Japan.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We have shopping problems. We'll get into hauls in a bit.
Oh yeah.
But like,
oh great.
and like I had a great time. I mean, I always have a great time at cons because I'm one of those people who's very much like, I always lie to my employers and say I'm going to a family reunion because I am. Like, that's what conventions are to me.
Yeah, you are.
So I always have a great time. But like, I do chalk that up a bit to like, because I know so many awesome people because of this hobby that I have, and conventions are a great place to get everyone all together and go out to Hot Pot with like 13 people and talk very loudly and lose your voice before the con even starts, because you just have to talk about Bang Brave Bravern very loudly across the Hot Pot table. But
oh man.
But yeah, so it was good. I had a good time. They need to do better. They need to do a lot better with their leadership. I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm not going to, like, this was it and I'm not going to go back next year. But like, I do want to see them doing better. Because I think that it's deserved for absolutely everyone who wants to attend and give them money, because it's not even like you can only buy one day a piece, which is a thing that MoriCon, which is a anime convention in Portland that I'm going to go to in October, does allow you to do.
Yeah.
So you have to commit to the whole weekend for SakuraCon, which is a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be a nonprofit that's going to require people to buy like a 3-day membership in order to go to your con, you do owe people a good experience for that. I do think you have more of a responsibility.
Did like leadership change between this year and the one prior, or was it the same leadership that they just made questionable decisions?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wish I had the details on it. I'm not very involved in following the organization simply because it feels a little bit opaque, and I've never done the digging to get like a lot of details on it.
Sure.
And recently speaking, I was out of the scene for 6 or 7 years. So it might be a completely different group of people from the last time I was really into going back before the plague. Or it could be the same people, it could be completely different. We could have had some people swap out. I definitely have friends who are more plugged into that scene, who have gone like every single year, and they like compete in like the cosplay contest and stuff like that. That is unfortunately not me. I am a very casual attendee for SakuraCon, but it does make me, this year paying more attention to it, it does make me more interested. And not that I think I could do better for like the actual organization thing. I do think I could do better for like communication though. Just saying. I'm an account manager, so I have to do better at communication.
Yeah. So it was a 3-day event. Did you cosplay at all? I know you said you were sort of casual attendee, but
yeah, no, I cosplayed. So I was going to try to cosplay for 3 days, but we did the whole like, we don't want to pay for an extra day of hotels, so we'll just check out on the Sunday of con and save the money. And whenever you do that, day 3 is always like, I'm just gonna wear normal clothes and pack up and like check out of the room.
Check out, yeah.
Yep. I still looked cute at least, but it was normal clothes. It was not a cosplay.
All right, I believe you.
But no, for KomoriCon, I'm gonna cosplay all 3 days just because like it's fun. It's fun, and there's no sales tax in Oregon, so paying for the extra day of hotel is not that bad.
Oh.
Go to Oregon. There's no sales tax. It's great.
Yeah, no.
But you do have income tax though, and that sucks.
Rhode Island, take the hint. No sales tax, for the love of God.
Live in Washington, shop in Oregon. But the oh shoot, I have not drank enough caffeine yet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, 3 days. 3 days of con. Cosplayed 2 days. I did what would be considered by some to be a very niche cosplay. I am using it to advertise a thing that I think that a lot of people should read. My partner and I are both really into the Locked Tomb book series. So he and I cosplayed characters from that. He cosplayed the Emperor Undying, John Gaius, and I cosplayed a spoiler. Cosplayed a spoiler. So
alrighty.
But the character that I cosplayed, her name is Electo. And she's basically God, trying to describe this series is very interesting. It's like if you take the base soup, like the broth of Warhammer 40k, and then you chop up a lot of the plot points. Not that I'm saying this like, oh yeah, the author just like straight up like plagiarized stuff from these things. This is all like the vibes.
Right.
Like the soup of Warhammer 40k with like the aesthetics a little bit and stuff like that. And then like some of the aesthetics and like the themes and stuff of like Final Fantasy VII. And then
right. You're getting me.
You season it with a lot of like self-loathing and like emotional angst and like maladaptive coping tendencies of like Evangelion. And then you put that and you stew it for like 3 novels.
Huh.
And it's about queer necromancers in space. I say queer because everyone says lesbians, and that's true. But there's also pansexual people.
Okay.
And bis.
All right.
There's a lot of an interesting there's a lot of fun stuff. It's a good series. You should read it.
What is it called? Lost Tomb?
The Locked Tomb.
Locked Tomb. I'll have to keep an eye on it. Maybe
Yep.
I'll add it to...
The first book is called Gideon the Ninth. They're all like character named the Ninth. So it's Gideon the Ninth, Harrowhark the Ninth, and Nona the Ninth.
I'll have to add the first book to my wish list and try to grab it at some point.
Yeah.
Once I'm done with my current book, because I like to... I mean, now, circumstances applied, because I like to get like 3 books at a time for my little, my Nook app on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm close to finishing one that I've been enjoying. It's superhero based, but then I also I'll try to get
nice.
Graphic novel collections of series going on that I don't want to follow single issues. I'll just rather wait for the collected. I think I tried the recent current run of Fantastic Four, and it was okay. I thought I was gonna like it because I'm a big Sue Storm main in Marvel Rivals.
Fair.
But it was
Aren't we all though?
It was that Malice skin though. Good God. Feet for free? Okay.
Yeah, they really just give you the grippers for free, don't they?
The grippers and full on booty shots. Yep. And then so I don't think I'll be following that, but then I got the new-ish run of Ultimate Spider-Man that's actually really good. The art is gorgeous. The whole... Because I guess there was some bizarre fucked up event. I think it was maybe Secret Wars or something where evil Reed Richards just formed a universe and heroes got erased or they never got their chance to become who they were meant to be.
Oh.
So basically it's Peter Parker gets his powers when he's already married and has kids.
Awkward.
He gets his powers from Tony Stark, who figured shit out in that universe, and Kingpin's a major force here. The art is stunning. I am just completely blown away by it. So I'm just, once I finish my current book, I'm gonna try to get the second volume because that's already out, and try to stay on track with it. But because my single issues are just all in on DC Comics lately. But
I mean, depending on God, American comics is such a crapshoot sometimes because it really depends on who's writing. So it always goes back and forth. Marvel's on fire right now and DC's in the toilet, or the opposite sometimes, depending on who they got.
Yeah, well, so I'm following. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 series. Still following Nightwing. They just got a new creative team.
Nice.
I kind of like it.
Oh, interesting.
It
Good.
The art is stunning. The guy I've never really heard of.
Who is it?
Dan Waters.
Also not ringing a bell.
Art by Dexter Soy.
Cool.
Aquaman got a relaunch. The author's name is escaping me, as is the artist. But then I've been going into the new Absolute universe that they launched.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
It's really fucking good. This is the first time I'm actually following a Superman comic. Mostly just off of the high of how good Superman and Lois is or was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Absolute Superman being written by Jason Aaron, who's
nice.
I mean, he did Lady Thor, that whole Thor run. He's doing Ninja Turtles. Scott Snyder doing Absolute Batman, which is a trip.
Yeah.
Mr. Beefcake Bruce Wayne with his thick thighs and giant muscles. Interesting spin they're doing on his origin. They did.
Oh.
And spoiler, he didn't lose both parents.
Oh, interesting. Wait, did they do the whole Martha was actually just in Arkham the whole time?
His mom's still alive. His dad.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, but like,
It's not.
I
I don't
won't
think
press you
she's
for.
not insane.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, his
I
dad.
won't press you for too many details because if people are listening, I don't want to spoil them.
Yeah, and like his quote unquote rogues gallery were like childhood friends growing up. So like he was
Interesting.
best buds with Harvey, Eddie, Waylon, Selena.
We've
They had a group.
Interesting. We've gone full hush, not just Tommy.
And he's not well, I mean, and he's not rich.
Oh, gotcha.
He's like
Oh,
yeah, no,
this is giving Terry vibes, kind of.
sort of. And like Alfred's an M16 operative.
Interesting. I mean, that explains a lot about Alfred just in general, for being honest. Yeah. Oh my god, never mind. I will not get this off topic. Please continue.
And then, well, I mean, we're already half off topic, but that's okay. And then
that's right.
And then they just released Absolute Martian Manhunter, which is a fucking like you're reading it and it's like you're on drugs. The colors and pages are it is a full 70s psychedelic trip.
I love that though.
Right?
Like give Sean something interesting.
Yeah, no, that's what, because apparently the writer I've only heard of who's doing amazing things on the Ultimates, which is like the Ultimate Avengers for the new Ultimate Universe. He's doing great things on that from what I've heard. So he's doing this.
Nice.
This was originally supposed to be a 6-issue limited series. Now it's going to a full year because of the response from the first couple of issues and the sales numbers. And then Absolute Superman is also great, where he didn't arrive on Earth until he was like a school kid or a teenager.
Oh.
And deals with Krypton having been separated by classes. Real like class structure. And how he's sort of like Lois Lane's supposedly working for the bad guys at the moment. And a whole bunch of other stuff. There's giant like squadrons of peacemaker units involved. That's pretty much the sum up of all I've been following right now. So it's been good. That's the one thing in my like current like monthly expenses I don't want to cut out, because I need happiness.
Yeah.
To maintain
no,
the
absolutely.
dread.
Yep.
So yeah, that's been comic book wise. That's been what I've been going through. I mean, I think, did I tell you I also have, or I found the last piece of the whole, like I now have all the single issues of the Judas Contract storyline.
No, I did not know that.
Oh, so
that's rad though.
It jump started. It got started because I went to Fan Expo Boston with one of my best friends. We went there for a day, and I was just on the hunt for, at the time, like cool looking Nightwing variants. I go up to this guy and go, "Hey, do you have any cool Nightwing variants?" And he goes, "I don't think so, but I mean, I do have this." And he pulls out the first issue that Nightwing as a character like debuts.
Oh.
Like the issue that...
Nah, I don't think I have anything cool. Here's an OG.
Here's the thing. He had two versions. One of them was signed by the writer.
What?
And I checked the signature. It's legit.
That's so cool.
I bought it. It was not that
expensive.
Hell yeah. It was not that expensive, because it was either get the one with the signature or one without. So...
Yeah.
And then a comic shop down
What kind of decision is that?
Yeah, George Perez is no longer with us. So, I mean...
I know.
And apparently Marv Wolfman is still doing conventions. So, if at any point he's at a convention I'm at, I'm going to bring the other 3 parts with me to get him to sign them.
Yeah.
Which I also somehow just found at a comic shop down by where my mom lives. They just happen to
Nice.
have 1, 2, and 4. So
That's
that was,
awesome.
yeah, that was nuts. So I have them all hung up in frames. And I think that's everything comic related that I've been dealing with at the moment. We were talking about. Sorry for the tangent, everyone, but you're used to it by
No.
now. So that was one of the cosplays you did for SakuraCon?
Yeah. Yep. The Locked Tomb. It was kind of a I did not know how many people would know what we were doing or anything. So you know how sometimes like people talk about like, oh yeah, cosplay's like a great way to meet other people in like your fandom and stuff like that. That's 100% why we're just like, I wanna like go heavy on this. I wanna see how many people, how many other Locked Tomb girlies, gender neutral, we can find at
Yeah.
this convention. A lot. There was like so many more than
Really?
I was expecting. I was so excited. Like I was
Oh, that's the
honestly like the
best
sheer
feeling.
number of like Locked Tomb people that I found is probably why I had such a great time at the convention.
Oh,
Like
that's wonderful. That's great.
I definitely made a lot of good new friends because of this. So I'm very happy. Um but yeah, so that was our Friday. And then Saturday my partner rewore that cosplay just because like his character can like completely stand on his own. And then I did Thriller Bark Nico Robin from One Piece, and I
Okay.
had like that's the first arc where she does like her using her extra body parts to create like wings and stuff. So I made wings that is also hands. And it was a really fun project,
Okay.
and I definitely took away the wrong lesson from that because it was the wings were the thing that I was just like, okay, if I finish everything else with like a couple days to go, I can make the wings. Like that'll be like my crunch. Like I can have a little con
Yeah.
crunch as a treat, essentially. And I did that. And then my airbrush broke.
Oh
Um,
no.
so I was not able to airbrush the feathers with like the gradient that they have. So I decided to just dry brush them all by hand. And
Yeah.
still do the wings, and I got all of the feathers painted in time for us to leave on time for the con. I put them all in the box. I had the wing like structure all made. I'm just like, I'll pack an entire package of hot glue sticks and I will just glue them on in the hotel room because that is a clean, safe thing that I can do in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Um, and so I did that. So I technically finished the wings the morning I wore them.
As
I
you
definitely took the wrong
as
lesson
you
from
do.
this process,
Yep.
as you do. Um, but yeah, that was the first thing I've con crunched in a long time to that extent of like finishing it in the hotel room. But like it like barely counts. All I was doing was hot gluing stuff. It's fine. Um,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of fun. They were really comfy. I'm really happy that I finished them because they look great in pictures. And it was like a fun little extra thing to have. I'm definitely like riding high a little bit on the like I want to have like that extra little thing for my costume. Like if the costume has like a little extra bit or bob, I will try to like get it done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna regret that coming up because my partner did a really good Blythe from Elden Ring.
Okay.
Um, and I might have promised him a Miss Ronnie Elden Ring cosplay.
Ooh,
So
all
now I
right.
have to make extra hands,
This is
like
this
extra
is this is
arms,
true. Yes, you
and that's
do.
gonna be fun.
Oh no.
Um, so I'm giving myself until like I'm gonna try to have that done for KomoriCon, which is the first day of con is on Halloween. So that's gonna be my Oops All Witches convention. I'm gonna cosplay only
Ah,
witches to that.
clever. Nice. Nice.
Thank you. But I'm gonna need all the time I can get to work on her.
I
So
mean,
that's
yeah.
like literally what I'm starting tomorrow. I just finished up doing a, ironically enough, Witch Hat Atelier shoot. So another witch thing.
Okay.
But so I'm like, while we're talking, I'm going through culling photos from that.
Okay.
But yeah, from like now until KomoriCon, I'm gonna be working on Ronnie probably. And also, if I get my panel submission accepted, a panel for that convention too. But
What's
it's gonna be,
the panel idea?
well, so I did have an idea. I got a little sidetracked because I did have an idea. I really love mech anime, which sounds like kind of a weird thing if you know me as a person. You're just like, oh, I wouldn't have pegged you as like a mecha fan.
Sure.
But like there's a lot of like variety in the genre and stuff like that. And so I was like, oh, I can do like a genre examination, like comparing and contrasting, because you got everything from like the original Mobile Suit Gundam to like Gurren Lagann, where like the robots is powered by humanity's will to fight on and stuff like that. And then you've got like Evangelion, which is the sad inverse of that, affectionate, not derogatory. And like there was just a lot, so I've been watching a lot of mech anime recently, kind of reignited by how much I enjoyed Bang Bravern, which is just the gayest anime I've ever seen, and that's not subtext, that's text, and it's great, and everyone should watch it. It's a great mech anime, it's a great super robot mech anime in particular. The gay is canonical, but the gay is canonical and the music is diegetic, which is amazing.
Okay.
But I got a bit sidetracked because at one point one of my roommates was like, "Oh, you should watch Big O." I'm just like, "The heck is Big O?" He's like, "It's like kind of like it's like from the early 2000s, and like it's a mech anime sort of, like it is, but also it's just got a lot going on." And so I was just like, okay, fine, I'll check out Big O. I'm fascinated. This show is insane.
Okay.
In the best way possible. I have so many questions about who made it, what its themes actually are. The themes will come from finishing the anime, obviously. I'm on episode 9 of season 2, and there's only 2 seasons.
Oh.
But I might just end up, I think I have a full panel's worth of stuff I could just say about Big O, so that might be what I end up doing.
Right.
We'll find out.
Okay.
But yeah, it's, we'll see. I'm having fun with the excuse to just watch a whole bunch of anime with large robots in them. Whether or not you think that they would fall into the mech genre is an interesting discussion that I'm excited to have at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of my plan for that. We'll see if it gets accepted, because obviously like panel submissions, and then people have to be like, that doesn't sound like a thing that people are going to really want, and then my only response would be like, oh, that's fair.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you see any like other standout cosplays at SakuraCon? Did you see like any popular prevalent like franchises represented?
Popular prevalent franchises. There was a decent amount of has-been, which I honestly just consider like the Gen Z Homestuck. Like maybe not to the extent. I feel like Gen Z has learned from the millennials like a bit regarding like maybe don't go that cringe if you're going to be into a fandom.
Right.
but also, to be fair, the tools that they have for body painting are more robust and refined than the early Homestucks have. So
Yeah.
I think Gen Z is benefiting from the millennials Homestuck walked so that Has-Been can run, as far as like not getting kicked out of hotel rooms
Oh,
for
God.
dyeing things gray.
Right.
But there was a lot, there was a lot of that. A lot of MiHoYo's, like a lot of HoYoverse stuff.
Okay.
Kind of like across the board. I didn't really see like huge standouts.
Right.
In that regard. A lot of, is it My Mermaid Melody? There's a Mermaid Idol franchise that I'm not super aware of, but I did see a decent amount of them. Because I kept asking people like, "Oh, like you're from an idol anime, that's obvious, but which one?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's the mermaid one." I'm just like, "Cool." So there was like, the designs are really cute. Idol anime isn't really my thing unless it's Zombieland Saga, which I don't really think counts. But there's a decent amount of that. My standouts were definitely any other Lock Tomb cosplayers. Obviously One Piece, but like One Piece is like massively present everywhere because it's just a behemoth.
Yeah.
And then there were some really cute like Owl House cosplayers still, and that made me really happy.
Oh, okay.
It's, I did a lot of my, this is a constant experience at SakuraCon in particular, because both of the convention centers have like escalators that go just uninterrupted from like the bottom floor to the top floor of like both of the buildings. So
Okay.
it is a very like kind of romantic ships passing in the night experience of seeing a really cool cosplayer going the opposite direction on the escalator from you. And then you just have to shout at them and like extend your hands longingly because you'll never see them again. Like, they look amazing and they'll just be gone.
They vanish, never be seen again.
It's like the escalators are a different like half overlapping dimension where like you can see people on them, but if you leave the escalators, they cease from existence.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So it's dreadful trying to catch up with people, so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, and then there's like oh, let's see. I feel like I've definitely messaged a whole bunch of people being like, "Oh my God, I missed seeing you. Gosh dang it."
Yeah.
Oh, there was a cosplayer who stopped me. I think they go by Thea Calyx on Instagram. They like stopped to chat about Lock Tomb stuff, but they were wearing is it Chandelure? One of the ghost type candle Pokemon Gijinkas that they made.
Chandelure?
Chandelure, thank you.
Yes.
I always say it wrong because I can remember Litwick right off the top of my head, and I'm just like, the chandelier with the evolution.
Right.
Help. They it was a competition piece that they were wearing. They were like on their way to judging, and stopped to chat for a second. It was very kind of them. I hope they weren't late. But they looked amazing. Their wig was fantastic. It lit up. It was like a very like Disney Hades-esque kind of like fire hair. It looked so cool.
Sick.
So yeah. I recommend looking them up on Instagram if you like
I am
cool...
like casually looking them up, trying to find them.
Yeah. I can spell it out for you. It's at TheaCalix. They're pretty neat.
TheaCalix. LIX?
Yep.
Might have found him.
Nice.
Oh, I found him. No, I'm just quickly. Oh, Hades hair.
Right?
Hades hair.
Yeah.
Holy
it's very
shit.
cool.
there's this one with her and an Aegis Slash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! I'm seeing like the little concept art with her one. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going back through my messages. There's also let's see. They go by Queen of Puns on Instagram. Also very neat. Human being, very kind. But they did a Bard Miku from some fan art that was going around a while back. Actually, was it there? I don't want to say whose art it was and get it wrong. But I didn't get to see them while they were wearing that. They were wearing Vash the Stampede from Trigun Stampede when
Okay.
I was able to meet up with them. But I saw pictures of Bard Miku and it was very cute.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Lovely detail.
Yeah, great.
But
I actually kind of
and then like
I started posting to my blog again because I've been bored out of my mind with stuff
nice.
to do.
Oh
from
yeah.
from late last year, so I'm trying to find more people to write and feature on my blog. So this is really great.
Awesome.
More people to stalk affectionately
I'm-
and look at the pictures.
Yeah. I'm happy to provide some recs.
Yeah. I will have to hit you up at some point if I ever run out.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else about SakuraCon you want to talk about?
I mean, that kind of covers my experience, I guess.
Was it?
I've taken up a lot of time already talking about Sak. We should move on to another topic.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm like finishing this coffee up. That was
no worries.
That was one of the things I bought at PAX East. The people,
nice.
The people over at Mini World Tavern were there, like they always are.
Yeah.
So
yep.
I mean, I was legit run down. I was out of coffee, so I was like, okay, I'll get 2 bags. I need it.
Nice. Yep.
It was that and pins. Pins. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And I did finally actually bring my like Wild Bill's soda jug, and I spent money on one of the days to get unlimited refills. Didn't really do much. I think I filled it up twice. Oh well.
Oh.
Because it was mostly, it was the most amount of Red Bull I've ever drank in a long time in one weekend.
Oh.
I think I drank like 5 bottles within 3 days.
Yeah.
Because they were like a main host for like the media people at the con. So like when I picked up my media badge, they like advertised, like the people over at the registration desk advertised, you know, there's the media room and there's like a creator club, which is like a little club mixer that you can go to during this hour time frame. But then they just handed me a 2-pack of Red Bull.
Oh.
And then
interesting.
in the media room itself, they have like a Red Bull like mini fridge where you could just grab a Red Bull as often as you wanted.
That's really cool.
So yeah. I had 1 Red Bull left, and I put it in the little cooler in my hotel room. I forgot it.
Oh no!
When I checked out, so that was one regret.
Yeah.
One regret of few at PAX East. I don't know if you'd want. I can give you like the cliff notes of it because I want to save most for the. So, I got to hang out with some really good friends each of the days. Mink the Satyr was there with her little posse of people, like streamer friends and community members. I got to see Avi J Cosplay and their partner. They were mostly at a booth with like the Guardians Mental Health company or community of people. I got to I did the developer interview. It was interesting because I only played like 2 games because I wasn't even with like the quote unquote big players that were there. Tifa, what is it?
Baby.
Tifa? Yes, honey, I'm in the middle of something. I'll play with you later. If you somehow heard
so
my
funny.
cat meowing, congratulations.
Yeah.
She had that powerful meow. Cause there was like the Pokemon play booth, but that was mostly for like their trading card game. Their Elden Ring had a booth for Night Rain, which is coming out I think, next week. The giant purple dome. They had a booth for Dune Awakening. Some game called Crimson Desert, which I don't know what it is. I think it's a PC game. I'm always curious as to like why Baldur's Gate 3 is still showing up. Because it's like, what more can you show off about the game that people do not know about it already?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, it's just one of those things I always assume they're just like, well, we're still hyped about it, so why not?
Yeah, because I mean, I just remember, like, when League of Legends would always have a booth at PAX East back in the day, and they don't anymore, but, there was them, I'm quickly looking over my notes, Marvel Rivals was really popular at the convention, a lot of Final Fantasy VII cosplayers, and other Final Fantasy games, they have, some people were wearing the, baguette skin that you can get in Expedition 33, which was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It was actually amazing. One of my friends wore a Tunic cosplay, which was really cute. Some Warhammer, some Pokemon. There was like the Baldur's Gate 3 collection of cosplayer that was part of the booth, which I always love seeing. I think like, yeah, it was and then there were just like all the mainstays that I see like in the tabletop space. The same companies that either host their dice or their fancy, too expensive wooden tables.
Yeah.
Or yeah, those kind of companies, and then like your trading card games. Magic had a booth promoting both like what they're doing currently, but then also their upcoming Final Fantasy set. Which
I'm so excited for that set.
I know, me too, and I haven't played in years. And my best friend has been learning from their boyfriend, and they're like, "Ooh, you can play with me," and I'm like, "Maybe, but I don't want to. I just want to collect the cards for the art."
I mean, so valid. I technically know how to play Magic in the most cardboard tier sense of knowing how to play Magic. This crossover will get me to actually play Magic. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I was just like,
because I went to the panel.
Yeah.
That
oh my gosh.
Ben Starr hosted. And I was in like a preferred seating area because I was a member of the media and I got invited to attend. It was nuts. Yeah, they revealed cards from each mainline game, which ended up having Ben on his word sweating for the past 2 hours before he took off his sweatshirt and revealed his card.
Yeah.
Both front and back. It's a double-sided card.
That's great.
And it was so cool because it's like everyone got a swag bag. That included a fancy bag that had Cloud on one side, Sephiroth on the other.
Nice.
A poster. You had one of 5 posters, and I got Cloud on my poster, which was great. Because your options were Cloud, Sephiroth, Terra, Firion, and Emmett Silk. Those were your options.
Gotcha.
And then also you got like a welcome deck, which I believe were different, just basic 2 30-card decks. Mine was black themed. I imagine there were other colors added in. There's more. I don't want to get into it too much. Because I mean, I ended up backing out of an autograph session that I was in line for because I could not I could not afford the price,
Yeah.
which I will get into it in the PAX East episode. Um, but which will make some people think that's not that expensive. It's not expensive. I just can't afford it.
Yeah. No, that's so
I
fair.
couldn't justify it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I just ended up having dinner every night at my hotel's bar, which was nice. But I mean, I really want to go to a convention where I just have a dinner or a lunch with a bunch of group of people, like I always see everyone else doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that maybe changes next year, because I mean, I'm not based in Boston, but I like consider PAX East to be my home convention because I always go every year because it's just I really enjoy the vibes of that con and the
Yeah.
hotel that I stay at, and just the vibes of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So I am hoping that I can go next year if things work out. Um, yeah, because I think I stayed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, checked out on Monday. Really, really, I gotta make sure to take advantage of the pool next time
Oh
and
yeah.
just go down with my laptop and work and relax or whatever. Because I would just when I was hanging out in the hotel, it was either in my room or at the bar. That's it. There
Mm-hmm.
was no in between. Um,
There's there's definitely like every single time I come back from a convention, I'm just like, oh, I did so much. I didn't do anything. It feels like compared
yeah,
to like how much there is to do.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, that's the quick notes to PAX East. Um, again, there will be
Nice.
more in a future episode, hopefully this week. But yeah, I mean, this will be good because I did do a solo episode about Japan, but apparently, and I've been like throughout this episode so far, I've been like messing with the levels of the audio
Mm-hmm.
because apparently, and like the episode's still up. I'm not gonna take it down because I don't want to, but like
Mm-hmm.
apparently you can like barely hear me.
Oh no.
So I'm hoping that the levels are good enough and louder enough that they can hear you and me when this thing gets
Heck
uploaded.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I was in Japan for the first time with my brother and his friend. The joke is I stowed away and tagged along because it was originally their trip. Um,
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks. We spent the first week in
2 weeks.
Yeah, we spent
Hell yeah.
first week in Tokyo, first whole week in Tokyo, and then 2 days in Osaka, and then the
Nice.
rest of it in Kyoto before we went back to Tokyo for one last full day before we went back home.
Nice. Nice,
Um,
nice.
yeah, it was wild. It was wild. Um, what do you want to know about it?
Oh gosh, I guess. So just for comparison frame of reference, we have spent a lot of time in Tokyo, couple days in Osaka, a piece for each trip. Um, our most recent trip, we went all the way down. We like city hopped all the way down to Kumamoto because we wanted to do the One Piece statue mecca, essentially.
Okay, yeah,
The
yeah.
pilgrimage. Did that. Went back and flew. Like, if you fly in and out of Tokyo, like you're gonna end up spending time in Tokyo, bookended either side of your trip.
Yeah.
And you could spend easily just a whole vacation just in Tokyo.
You actually can. Yep.
I wouldn't recommend it just because all of my favorite experiences are always outside Tokyo, but that does not mean that Tokyo will not give you everything that you want, essentially, especially if it's your first time going.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was I don't know. I just want to hear like what your favorites were, I guess. Like favorite place, favorite
Yeah.
thing that you did,
So,
favorite
we
souvenir
did.
you bought.
Oh god, favorite thing that I bought. Well, I mean, first of all, I had an incident Okay, sorry, I'm just reading a text from one of my friends that I hung out at the convention.
Oh, no worries.
We're actually planning to go to the gym together. They talked me into upgrading my
Nice.
gym membership, and they're probably going to help me out paying for it. Because they
Oh,
want a
that's
gym
nice
buddy.
of them.
I really needed this though. We both have been talking about how like we needed to like our bond, like our friendship, just became closer from the weekend at PAX. And I'm like,
Aw,
everything going on in my life right
good.
now, I really needed this, and they're like exactly the same
For sure.
thing. So I had an incident where we stayed at Airbnbs throughout the entire trip in each
Mhm.
area. There was an incident where I went out on a late night 7-Eleven run, as you do, getting food, alcohol. I tried to beat a crosswalk sign going red, not realizing I was on a curb. I tripped, fell right in front of a car, busted my knee up, and cracked my phone.
Oh,
But
no.
here's the thing: if you were to see my phone right now, it's not visible. It's not noticeable because it just missed the screen protector and like the corner of the phone. But like, the case was just done. So I got a new fancy, cute-looking Pikachu phone case at
That's good.
a Bic camera. So
Nice.
I got the theme song stuck in my head. It will be that way until the day I die.
Yep.
Yeah, we spent a lot of. I got like a lot of figures, small figures. I actually didn't realize this, but I got to go to the Square Enix Cafe, just their store. I didn't really think to eat in their cafe itself, but like their adjacent next door store.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a Tifa figure, and that's the only major figure I got. But they closed. They shut down like on March 31st. Because I tried to find it again, because I remember reading about it. Probably because they already had opened up like their Square Enix like garden store that just opened up in January, and I got to go to that. I got to find it and go to it. And
Nice.
Yeah, Square Enix took all my money.
As they do.
I got 2 vinyls.
Nice.
One of FF7 Rebirth with a gorgeous double-sided vinyl with art of Aerith and art of Tifa. And then I got another vinyl that had just like the main theme song on it.
Huh?
So that was from their like giant tower record store that my brother spent a lot of money at because he's big into getting records and vinyls. Yeah, we were in Shibuya. We got to see the crossing. It was kind of like dreary and like cloudy, so like most of the days we were there, if I remember correctly, so like we didn't get to see a lot of sunlight in Tokyo. I think one of us made the comment of like it was giving like New York City vibes.
Oh. I think I can imagine what you're referring to.
Yeah. The let's see, I got we went to the Nintendo stores in Shibuya, and I went to the one in Kyoto.
Nice.
Got to go to the Pokemon stores. I got some plushies. I got a mug. I got some cute stuff at the Nintendo store itself, like Animal Crossing merch, Zelda merch. My big thing that I wanted on my shopping list, because I've had some people criticize like how I was too focused on shopping and not really.
It's easy to do.
And not really like exploring the culture, which I mean we did in Osaka and Kyoto. Like we did a tea ceremony in Kyoto.
Yeah.
We got to dress up in kimonos and make tea. I sort of struggled with making matcha. I also didn't like it. That was my.
Matcha's not really for me either, so don't feel bad on that.
A lot of coffee. a lot of coffee. Like, I read in advance that, like, they're one of the top countries that export coffee beans.
Hmm.
I believe it. I got to spend some time at several Excelsior cafes, which I guess
Nice.
is a chain down there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to, like, your Starbucks and whatever. I got to bring coffee home. But one of my main things was that learning from other, like, YouTubers that went to Japan, that the retro game business is huge.
Yeah.
So I had a list of games that I wanted to buy based off purely because they had a much cooler box art than what we got in the States.
Mm-hmm.
I found all I wanted on my list.
Good. I'm glad.
So I got, it was funny, the last one I got on my list was the one that was most expensive, but only because we saw it the first day, like, we were there in Tokyo, because we got to roam around Akihabara. That was my heaven. That was my nerd heaven. Going to, like, these other, like, trader stores and, like, Super Potato and book offs, all those other things. But, like, so I got, and I'm looking at them right now because I'm on my desk while we're doing this. I got the original Smash Brothers 64.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I actually just recently, like, just opened up the boxes, and it was, like, the game and the manual all intact. So, like, stuff I don't have anymore, because I think I, like, threw them out when I was a kid. When I got the English...
Oh, really?
When I got the English version. Yeah, no, I don't have it. But, like, the box art for, like, the Smash 64 box art in Japan is so much more cooler looking than what we got in the States. Because we also found one of the other things I wanted to get mostly heavily leaned towards Pokemon Blue, but I would have also settled with Pokemon Yellow, because Blue is what I grew up with. That was my first video game ever. First Game Boy game. We found it, and then when we were doing the conversion rate, it ended up being $100. I was almost going to get it, but my brother talked me out of it, thinking, like, hey, this is the first day we're here. You might You might find it elsewhere cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Every other time I found Pokemon Blue, it was going upwards of $180 to $200.
Oh, wow.
The last day we were in Tokyo, when we came back getting ready for our flight, I went off on my own to Akihabara, and I found it at the same store we went to when we first got there. It was the last copy that they had, and it was only like $136.
Hell yeah.
So at that point, I was like, fuck it. Get it.
Yep. We're getting it.
I got Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I got The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, which is my all-time favorite Zelda.
Nice.
I really like how Japan does their GameCube, like, packaging. Compared to what we had in the States. And then, on a whim, I got Final Fantasy X for $9.
Oh, nice.
And what's nuts about that, and I mentioned this before, but I guess the Japan version, because I noticed when I was holding it, it was heavy. The Japan version came with, like, a special edition bonus feature disc.
Oh,
And
interesting.
On that disc, I booted it up, and, like, I was able to do it on my PS5, but, like, I gotta be careful, because it's, like, it prompted me to, like, change the region setting on my PS5 to read Japanese DVDs.
Yeah.
And, like, apparently you can only do that so many times before it's locked permanently.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, at this point, I could just look it up online if I wanted to. But,
yeah.
They had an art gallery of, like, concept art from 10, interviews with the developers and the cast. But, I mean, there's no subtitle option, so I can't understand what the hell they're saying.
Yeah.
But then the thing that really had me fangirling the fuck out was they had trailers for stuff that was upcoming at the time They had a trailer for Final Fantasy 11. They had a trailer for the Spirits Within movie that bombed.
Yeah.
And then they also had what I believe was like one of the first cut Kingdom Hearts trailers that had the original logo that they had before it got changed.
Oh.
So I am still, when I think about it, I foam at the mouth because it's like I have like Kingdom Hearts history in my hand right now, and it's wild.
Yeah. No, that's so cool.
I got to do not as many gachapon machines as I wanted to. Like, one of the main ones I did was like the one at the Nintendo store, where they had like the fidget toys with like the buttons from various console generations. I ended up getting one for one of my friends who grew up on the Super Nintendo. So, and then I got two for myself with the GameCube controller, which was great. I didn't end up getting one for the N64, which kind of bummed me out. I got one of my friends like a Godzilla statue gachapon that they had. Oh, and then I also was able to find retro games for my friend who loved. She was very specific. She wanted cool because then because she was curious because she gave me her two favorite games, which were A Link to the Past and Donkey Kong Country 2. And we looked them up, and she really liked the box arts, and so I had them on my list. And I found them the first day. I found literally everything else, like that first day in
Oh, that's so
Akihabara,
cool.
which was sick.
Heck yeah.
Let's see. We did. We went to a lot of temples.
Good.
Took nearly all of the extra Polaroid film that I had because my friend gave me like a 6-pack of film for, I think, my birthday this year before we left. I used up almost all of it, which was great. Like, I have a collection of things that I think I got convinced to at some point make a little scrapbook with all the things that I have. So, like, all the Polaroids. I have, like, I bought, like, coffee grounds from a restaurant that we had breakfast at that I really liked. So I got a bag of coffee. So, like, it's all gone, but, like, I still have the bag that I'm just gonna probably tape into the book. I have, like, promotional flyers that I got from the Pokemon stores every time I bought stuff there. I had ramen there, and good God, it is like I will never experience that type of ramen ever again, unless I go to another trip.
Yeah.
Because, and like,
Do you remember the place?
not the name of it, no, because it was like we just found it, like on a whim. I think it was in Akihabara. I'm not really sure, but it was also one of those like super tiny places that had like very small amount of seats, so we had to like wait outside for a little bit before we could go sit down and eat. We did some nights I went out as much as I could before I got really sleepy. We went bar hopping. I tried sake for the first time.
Awesome.
And I actually liked it.
Good.
I got this one place where we got like street food for lunch. I got like this pork meat wrapped in rice on a stick, and then like Sakura flavored sake, which is like I guess it just had Sakura powder like in the drink itself, because that's the other thing. We were in prime Sakura cherry blossom season when we went.
Yeah, you definitely were.
And that was the whole reason why we went. The time frame that we wanted to go. Very funny interactions. One of my brother's friends, the poor thing, oh god, she dropped her phone in a river, like 4 days into the trip.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't have a phone for the rest of the trip.
Oh, that would terrify me. That sounds
Yeah.
awful.
There was Oh, okay. So there were some very cute interactions that we had with some of the locals there. Like one girl, we went at this like one. I think it was at a like a multi-layered, floored mall where we had dinner
Mm-hmm.
there or lunch, and like we were sort of impressed at like at some of the one of our servers like English.
Mm-hmm.
And like yeah, we were very impressed, and she was like, "Oh, thank you. I've mostly been learning English from like Instagram Reels and TikTok." It's like, oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
There was one place that I went to with my brother and one of his friends. It was at a sushi place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had only tried sushi for the first time, I think a week or two prior, on a date, and I was kind of about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this place, all they had was sushi. So I kind
Mm-hmm.
of just sat there watching my friends eat while I just had sake. So, but it was like this very cute mom and pop owned restaurant. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess the guy felt so bad that I wasn't eating anything that he came out with like a plate of like, or like a bowl of like onions and some
Oh.
soy sauce to put on top of it for me to have
Mm-hmm.
as like a snack.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And then I think they realized pretty quickly that we were like, we were foreigners. So he had his
Mm-hmm.
wife bring out a board with a map of the world and asked us to pin where we were from
Oh.
because they were just collecting pins. And then like we at first were like trying to give them like kind of like the basics of like we're like near New York. Like do you know
Mm-hmm.
New York? Do you want to like go to New York someday? And like it was so funny because like and then we got into specific like the one friend was in like two of them were in Connecticut, I'm in Rhode Island, and they were just like, oh, Rhode Island, oh, and they just kept repeating what we were saying. It was
Mm-hmm.
so adorable, and like my brother was speaking into a translator app. The guy was speaking into a translator app, and it was like we asked like, oh, do you ever want to go to New York, or have you ever been? And then like the guy goes, no. He goes into the translator app and shows us, and then it just said he's been to Guam.
It's
And
cool.
so we look up at him, and then he makes like a like shooting emoji, like he went hunting in Guam. So like, okay, sure. And then he made the comment about how he asked if, because my brother and I were dirty blondes, like hair.
Mm-hmm.
He asked my brother like, "Are you a Super Saiyan like Goku because you're blonde?" And it was we were just laughing, and he was like mimicking like the Kamehameha blast to us, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very very wholesome, very sweet.
Oh, that's great.
And then I had one of the receptionist or attendant at a hostel that we stayed at for the last part of our trip. She noticed my pin bag and noticed the Tron ride in Disney World because I got a pin
Oh
from that
yeah.
ride when I went to Disney World last October with my friend, and so
Mm-hmm.
she kind of was geeking out about it because I guess she's big into Tron, but
Oh, nice.
also the fact that she wants to go on that ride one day in Disney World. So
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, did you go to like Tokyo Disney Sea or Disneyland? I was like, no, that really wasn't like in her itinerary, but maybe next time. And then like I was giving her the sort of rundown. I'm like, this is what the Tron ride is like. It's really great. Don't expect
Mm-hmm.
it to be very long because it's not a long ride, but it's
Yeah.
very thrilling. And I would also highly recommend go on it at night because the area lights up all around in Tomorrowland, which I did
Oh,
go on
that's
at night.
rad.
So it was great. And I got some handmade items from some of the vendors at some of the other areas in like Osaka and Kyoto. I think
Mm-hmm.
like right in Tokyo, we just happened to be right near a farmer's market going on. So we like went around, like my brother got a pack of hot sauce from this woman that was selling and makes hot sauce. And then I think she was
Nice.
telling us she like partnered with this hot sauce company in like Brooklyn in New
Oh,
York.
dope.
And like that was one of the hot sauces that she made. Um we got up early some days to watch the sunrise. Um my brother and his friend got to go to an onsen.
Nice.
I didn't because I was just too drained. Too
Yeah,
busy
that's
too
fair.
busy being in my 30s, being wiped out.
Oh God, mood.
Um a lot of times I got like this grapefruit sour drink.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great. I got a mudslide at a Al Capone themed gangster bar because
Hell yeah.
sure, why not? That was on one of the nights we were
Yeah,
bar hopping. Um,
that sounds awesome.
we went to the Skytree Tower. Um,
Nice.
the Square Enix Garden store that I got to go to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of regret not getting a plushie of Torgal from FF16 because that was there.
Oh.
I think I was concerned with the suitcase space.
No, that's also very
That was what I
fair.
was concerned with. Um, and I'm like looking around my apartment to see what else. I bought this fancy. Well, it looked fancy to me. It was like coffee beans in like this wine bottle container
Mm-hmm.
at like what looked to have been like a department store or something. I don't remember the name of it. But I bought that home. Of course, all the coffee's gone, but I still have the bottle, and it's still corked up. So if I ever want to like get a whiff of it, I can still get it if I just
Nice.
uncork the bottle. I got some good luck charms from one of the shrines. I got some blind boxes. Um, I got this cute little like FF7 glass jar thing at like a Kotobukiya
Uh-huh.
in Akihabara. It had cloud on the jar, so that was neat. Oh
Nice.
my god, it's even more hilarious now given recent events. They had a gotcha machine where it was all acrylic stands of all the like title logos of all the Kingdom Hearts
Oh
games.
yeah. You posted a picture of that. Those are really cute.
Yeah, I got Missing Link, the game that no longer exists. Cause they
Extra missing now.
Yeah, because they canceled it.
Yeah,
So now I'm like, oh, is
that's a
that gonna be worth a
bummer.
lot of money one day? I got a oh no, I got a Riku plushie at the Square Enix store too. I was like half disappointed at the Kingdom Hearts merch because a
Oh,
lot of it was like either blind boxes or like acrylic stands,
yeah.
and then like some plushies. Like I think there was like a King Mickey plushies and like Heartless plushies and like they had a vinyl of like the Kingdom Hearts 3 soundtrack, and I was like, no, I spent too much on
I'm
vinyls.
good.
I've
Yeah.
tapped out. Yeah, I got 2 Pokemon plushies. I had some really nice moments of just wandering off by myself to kind of like decompress and calm down at like coffee shops
Yeah.
because that was the thing that was like I tried so hard not to worry about it because I was even second guessing going, but it was like I think it was like too late because the plane ticket had already been paid for because like
Hmm.
I had just lost my job, so it's like, did it even make sense to go?
Right. It's one of those like it feels like the wrong time, but here we are.
Yeah, it was my brother who talked me into going. Like, don't feel bad. Like, just this is almost. It's like it could be viewed as the worst time to go, but this is also now the best time to go because now it's just like give yourself 2 weeks to not think about it.
Exactly.
And then there were moments where I kind of felt like a third or fourth wheel because it was my brother and two of his friends that he's grown up since with in middle school, and
Yeah.
one of his friends now fiance because they got engaged while in Japan.
Oh,
Um,
cute.
and they were kind of planning on it too, so it was like they saw it coming, but it was like apparently they did it while they were alone in like a restaurant, from what we were told.
Mhm.
Because they didn't, I guess they didn't want to make a big thing out of it. So, but anyway, um, there were, I mean, it was very interesting because it was like we weren't fully lost in translation. Because,
Mhm.
like, they understood some English, and we tried to do some. I mean, I tried to use some Japanese, mostly the basics.
Mhm.
Once I got a handle on how to navigate the trains and subways, it was kind of a cakewalk to do so.
Well, that's
Um,
good.
trying to think. I've got some. Like, I'm at my desk, and like underneath my desk, I have like the like shopping bags from the Square Enix Garden and the Nintendo store. Because why not keep the bags? Because it's like a really cute memento.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, Osaka was a lot of restaurants, a lot of crazy shopping. Kyoto was more. It was the tea ceremony, and I'm. Oh, we went to the we went to the Studio Ghibli Museum.
Oh, nice.
Truth be told, I'm not as
Mhm.
attached to anime or in Studio Ghibli as much as everyone else in the group was.
Mhm.
So it was an interesting museum to walk through and like see some of the stuff that Miyazaki used in his creation, and I think everyone got like this little like film strip of like
Mhm.
images of like an image from one of his movies. It was all random,
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah, whichever one you got. But I got the one that was. I think I got Grave of the Firefly, which I've never seen.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
like oh good, World War II, great,
Yep.
fun. Um, I think I've been, and I still do think this. Like ever since I got back, and I've been just reflecting on everything I did and everything I see and saw. I'm glad I did go in the end. Um,
Good.
my brother wants to go again at some point, and so I don't know. I would love to go again, maybe with the same group of people if it ever happens. Um, a lot of shopping, a lot of walking around. That was another thing I mentioned. It's like I survived 2 weeks of nonstop walking in Japan.
Mhm.
Therefore, every future Disney World trip should be a cakewalk compared
Right.
to what I did. Um, yeah, and it was just yeah. I think that's everything. So I guess what about like your Japan trip? Like, what did you do in comparison? Um,
Oh my gosh. Um, so I am a much bigger anime fan. So like
sure.
there was a lot of I guess robust planning I could do about like specific things that we wanted to see and stuff like that.
Oh my god, you just reminded me of something.
Um,
Oh my god, I'll let you finish before another hilarious thing that I.
no, go for it. I haven't really started, so.
Okay, well there were moments where, and this is like a funny half regret. I was telling my other friends this, like, why didn't you? There were moments where I was just in stores where they had floors full blown hentai and porn, and I'm like, huh? why didn't I take something to go home with?
Yeah.
Why didn't I?
No, there's a lot of opportunities for that. Whether you're looking for it or not, if we're being honest.
Yeah, no, and I was just fascinated. I was like, huh, tentacles out in the open.
That sure is the thing that you can
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was the one thing I was reminded of. I didn't buy anything on the hentai porn floor. So, whoops.
Dang it.
Next time. Yeah, you more into anime, robust planning.
So just things like I had seen, because I follow some of the manga writers that I really like.
Oh, okay.
I'd seen on social media that it was going to be Japan's version of Free Comic Book Day while we were there.
Oh, sick.
And that they would, yeah, and they had a the mangaka of Witch Hat Atelier, which is a series that is getting an anime adaptation this year, but I've been reading it for the past couple of years. That I really love. It's a great series. She posted that certain bookstores were going to have English translations of a spin-off series that her creative team was working on. That is not currently licensed for an English translation.
That's very specific, but okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like my one chance to get like a translated copy, essentially like an official one. And so I hunted down a bookstore that was supposed to be like having it, and we went. This was in Ikebukuro in Tokyo.
Might have been there at that section. Okay, go on.
We went and did my best to speak to the shopkeep. And I was just like kind of trying to communicate. There was like some promotional stuff, so he was definitely like running the event and stuff like that, or like participating.
Sure.
And he communicated to me that like, oh, he was already out of that particular comic. Like it was apparently very popular. It was already gone. I was a little crestfallen, but I was just like, no, I understand. And then I went to pick out, because there was still like promo packs and stuff that like I wasn't going to be able to find in the States without having to pay like ridiculous international shipping or whatever. So I was just like, okay. And then I went and I picked something else out and came up to the register, and he had like been in the back for a second. And like he came out to meet me at the register, and he was holding a copy of the English comic that I wanted. He's like, this was my copy that I was keeping, but you came all the way here for it, so I want you to have it.
Aww.
I was like, oh my god. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me.
That's so sweet.
It's so sweet. So like, yeah, people who are nerds about stuff are some of the nicest people on the planet. Yeah. And fandom is really important.
Yeah.
So, and I still ended up buying the other stuff that I was going to get anyway, obviously.
Sure.
But that was like the sweetest thing. Like it made my whole trip basically.
Yeah.
And that was like the second day that we were there.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just really nice interactions. I had been studying Japanese on the OWL app that we no longer use because AI.
Yes, correct.
And so watashi no nihongo wa chotto not very good.
I mean, it's better than what the hell I was saying. It was a whole lot of, a whole lot of Ohayo gozaimasu, konbanwa. One of my friends had the saying "O genki desu," which is like the best thing that we can say for like an equivalent of us saying "Have a good day." after we visit someone?
Yeah. So expressions are difficult. Literally
Right.
translated, I'm not so sure, but expressions are different. I had this whole conversation with it was an argument with my roommate about the meaning of clair obscur in French. And because he said it meant black and white, I'm just like, or white and black. I'm just like, literally speaking, no, it doesn't. But I guess metaphorically speaking, fine. But like, but also yes, it's a French studio. They're native speakers. The turn of phrase could definitely mean that. But as an American who doesn't speak French, clair obscur does not mean white and black. White is blanc and black is noir. But again, language is so difficult and also kind of fun, but also difficult.
Right. Literally.
But I mean, the one thing that I have found in traveling anywhere is that if you give even the slightest amount of effort to learn the language of where you're going, like, people will meet you more than halfway.
Yeah, I
like,
noticed that,
if you even try, they'll just be like, even if you do end up just pointing and grunting at each other to figure things out, they'll do it happily because you put in the effort.
Yeah, like, even, like, when you go to coffee shops and stuff, like, they'll have, like, menus printed out, like, not even, like, of course, like, on the menu area, but then also on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, they understood cafe latte, which was what I always had when we went to coffee. That just reminded me. There was this really, so there were several coffee shops that I went to, both solo and with the group, that we tried out.
Mm-hmm.
One I went to solo in Kyoto, which I found really fascinating. Just the layout of, like, the stores. It very much reminded me of, like, an outlet. Like
Interesting.
an outlet setting, like, over where I'm in, because we have, like, this, like, place called Rentham Outlet, which is, like, a famous shopping area. But I believe the coffee shop was called, like, Blue Leaf Cafe, I believe, or something like that. But they had I had coffee there, and then, like, what was technically lunch, but could also just be known as dessert, because it was, like, banana caramel waffles.
Ooh, tasty.
It was essentially just a waffle with thin banana slices next to it, drizzled in caramel with the addition of whipped cream and 2 scoops of chocolate and vanilla ice cream. And so that was one place, but the other place that we went to, it was themed around records and vinyls, and the whole setup was you order your coffee and whatever pastry you want. And this was kind of hilarious. I don't know if they were dead serious, but we didn't want to chance it, but they made us watch a video on how to handle records and the record player, and that if they noticed that you were not paying attention or looked away, they would restart the video and have you watch it from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
because the whole thing was, you go sit down, and then, like, there's a downstairs that I didn't go to, but my brother did. A downstairs section that had, like, a selection of vinyl. You grab one you want, you bring it back upstairs, you put it in. There were headphone jacks up to 4 headphones for 4 people. You just stick the headphones on, you listen to the vinyl, and you vibe out.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that was another one of my favorite cafes that we stopped at. Yeah.
Nice.
It had lavender flavored coffee as part of, like, a spring menu for the Excelsior cafes. We didn't so much, and I guess it's fair, we didn't really have an inkling to, like, try, like, let's try a Japanese Starbucks, or let's try a Japanese KFC, or a Japanese McDonald's. We didn't really have...
I mean, it's not the most you could do to get out of your trip.
Right. I had an accidental overkick taste of wasabi for the very first time,
Oh no.
and I thought I was going to die there, then and there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because we went to this restaurant for dinner, and we each got this like very intricate like beef, like wagyu beef setup where they gave us like 6 slices of beef on top of like rice, but then like a whole assortment of like spices and like wasabi, and then like there was like instructions on like this is how you should eat this dish. Like have 1/3 of it be plain beef, just straight up. Have another third of it be with this added spices and like liquids, and then another third like dipping into the wasabi. So
Mhm.
very interesting, very intricate. Had a lot of rice. Uh,
Yep.
I had been previously like practicing like chopsticks, and I got by pretty okay in
Nice.
using them. So, and now I pretty much just use them whenever I have my grocery store ramen. Uh, cause
Yeah, it's a skill you don't want to lose.
no, no. That was another thing. I wanted to get just like the Toad themed chopstick they had at the Nintendo store, but they only sold them in like the 4-pack. So I got a 4-pack of chopsticks. I got an Animal Crossing themed coffee cup and saucer plate
Mhm.
themed to the roost. What else? There was that mug. There was a Pikachu mug that I got. Um, yeah, I saw. I mean, I saw a lot of like girls in maid costumes with flyers handing out stuff, which
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure.
They're ever present.
I'm not sure what entirely they were handing out info for. I'm assuming maid cafes.
Yeah, it's a lot of like street canvassing, trying to drum up clientele.
Uh huh.
Depending on the cafe, it's a bit more sus than others.
Right.
Mostly just because, you know,
Yeah.
it's easy to exploit young people.
Yes, that's for sure. Oh, duh. I solo went to a cat cafe.
Oh,
And
yay!
it was
What'd you think?
it was something.
Japan can be a real mixed bag when it comes to how they treat animals. I love Japan, don't get me wrong.
No.
The service industry can be very exploitative. So
I can understand that. I mean, it seemed like they were treating them fine. I was
good.
kind of cringing at like how some of the guests were treating the cats, like being like super
That's
like all up
fair.
in their face. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and like I only had spent money for like what, 30 minutes or like an hour, and like part of me was like semi regretting like I should have bought extra for like the cat treats to try and lure the cats over, but at the same time it was like this was on the last day of the trip in Tokyo, and I wanted to like cut back on spending because I knew I had spent a lot, and I did. I surprisingly still had enough left over to successfully secure a Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order. That was another wild.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that was another thing that happened because it was like during this big Switch 2 presentation that they had. So it was like I stayed up super late to watch it. My brother and his friend watched it, and I watched it again the next morning. I was able to find amiibo that I wanted from Smash Brothers that I could never find on Amazon in the States. It was always sold out or sold secondhand at a much more expensive price. But they had tons of amiibo there, both at the Big Camera and the Nintendo stores. So there are some moments as I look back on the photos I took. It's like I should have taken more photos of like the Pokemon store or the Nintendo stores. Because
I mean, it's easy to go back and be like, dang, I wish I'd whatever.
Yeah.
That's why you just put another future trip in the books at some point.
Sure. No, that's definitely something I want to look into. I mean, hopefully I will have a better, higher paying job by that point to help
absolutely.
Fund it. Oh boy.
Well, I am starting to hear noises upstairs, which means that eventually my roommates are going to come down and start yelling at games. Okay. So I don't know how much more you'd like to discuss, but I think I need to wrap it up here soon.
Yeah, no, that's actually perfect. Cause I think I'm thinking like I think I'm running out of stuff, but
Fair.
Yeah. No,
good stopping point.
Oh, do you think you anything else about your Japan trip that you wanted to?
Oh gosh, definitely get out of Tokyo. Like Tokyo's great, but there are and like go to some smaller places. And also maybe don't do what we did on our most recent trip. We visited a lot of towns. But that means that we spent like maybe 25 to 30% of our trip just on trains.
Yeah.
And that's not like it was a lot of moving around. Don't move around a ton. Like pick a region and stay there. Cuz we went all the way from Tokyo, spent a little bit of time in Kansai and then all the way down to Kumamoto. So like don't do that. Like just pick a region and stay there. Like the next time we go, we want to just go pick like a northern region this time because we've always gone south before from Tokyo.
Yeah.
So we'll go north, we'll pick a region, like a prefecture, and just stay there and experience it, take our time.
Yeah.
So yeah, learn from my mistakes.
I actually got to briefly find one of my cosplay friends and her fiance, husband, I think husband. They were there at the same time frame that we were there. So I actually got to spend time with them a little bit, walk around some stores and have some dinner with them. So that was great. And, it was I do want to go back at some point if I have the opportunity, but this was great. I hope everyone enjoyed listening and watching live. I think we'll definitely start wrapping it up. But Emris, if people want to go follow your antics, where do they go?
Right now I am on Blue Sky and Instagram. Emris Coscept at both of those. My Twitter/X account it will just direct you to either one of those two. I don't post there anymore. I deleted the app off of my phone because it's just not a great place to be.
Yep.
So, that's where I'm at the moment. I'm trying to be more conversational about the stuff that I post in my stories and stuff like that, and show that I'm alive and not just post finished photos out of the blue like they just spawned in randomly. So yeah, come hang out if you feel like it.
Yeah, and then you can find me everywhere, mostly at Blue Lightning Costs. I'm also trying to stick with Blue Sky and Instagram. Twitter is just a place where I can just be kind of hornier than I usually am, but then it's also I'm still there because not every cosplayer that I follow has jumped ship yet. So I mean, I kind of don't have a Twitter. Like I don't actively promote my work, like my blog or new episodes on Twitter anymore. But like I'm just there to stay in touch with people that haven't fully jumped ship yet, which I know can be hard to do, trying to start from scratch. But I mean, you know,
for sure.
But
no, I just didn't have that robust of like a relationship with anyone on Twitter, so it was easy for me to do. I understand it's not that easy for some people, so
but just
my account still exists. I didn't delete it. I'm just not there anymore.
Yeah, totally get it. But yeah, stay tuned for more episodes. There should be 1 to 2 happening this upcoming week. Hope you guys are looking forward to that. And